They said night shifts were quiet at Harker County Hospital. They lied. The building loomed in the dark like a carcass picked clean by time. I remember hesitating outside, watching as the front doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss. I stepped in. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like a swarm of flies circling a corpse. The air was thick with bleach, copper, and something sweeter. Something rotting, just beneath it all. A fresh start, they said, but there was nothing fresh about the antiseptic air that clawed at my lungs. The sterile smell reminded me too much of sand-choked field tents, morphine, and blood-soaked gauze. It reminded me of war. Beneath all of it, a familiar dread coiled in my gut, tightening with every step I took down those dead hallways. I hung my coat in the staff room, but the weight pressing on my shoulders didn't lift. I could feel it, them, the ghosts of choices I never wanted to make, the faces of comrades I couldn't save. They were always with me, just behind my eyes. In the staff lounge, a woman in scrubs sat alone, nursing a mug of black coffee. She didn't greet me with a smile, just a long stare, like she was measuring something in me. Her name tag read, Nurse Adele. "You're the new one," she said flatly. "Yeah, first night," I replied, forcing a smile. She didn't return it, just sipped her coffee and muttered, "Poor thing." I frowned. "Something I should know?" Adele leaned forward, her eyes bloodshot and sunken like she hadn't slept in weeks. "Don't talk to her. If you see her, don't speak. Don't even think about her." My stomach knotted. "Who?" She stared into her coffee as if it could swallow her whole. "The girl, the one in the gown. Black hair, pale skin. You'll know her. She's not like the others." I gave a nervous laugh. "You mean a patient?" "No," Adele said, suddenly sharp. "I mean what's left of one. She's still here, stuck, and she's hungry for attention. She wants you to see her. That's how it starts. The moment you acknowledge her, it's done. She latches on, follows you, inside you." I stared at her, unsure if this was some twisted hazing ritual. "She feeds off guilt," Adele added, her voice cracking. "Off grief, off pain. She'll show you the worst parts of yourself until you don't know what's real anymore. I've seen good people lose everything, their minds, their families, themselves." I managed a dry, throat-clearing laugh. "Right, got it. Don't talk to ghosts." But Adele didn't laugh. She only whispered, "You'll wish you listened," and walked out. 12:04 a.m., first round. The halls were wrong. They stretched too far, bending at odd angles like the building was trying to lead me somewhere I wasn't supposed to go. The overhead lights dimmed and flickered in a pattern, like Morse code. But when I asked the others, they said they didn't notice anything strange. The shadows were wrong. They moved when I wasn't looking, sliding just out of sight, twitching at the edges of the flickering light. I told myself it was nothing, just nerves, just exhaustion. But the way they lingered, like they were watching, felt deliberate, almost curious. Room 203, routine check. The patient, a man in a coma, was silent except for the beeping of his monitor. I turned to leave. "Help me." The voice came from behind me, breathy and brittle. I whipped around. The man hadn't moved, but the heart monitor was now flatlining. Beep! My skin prickled with ice. As I reached for the code button, the screen blinked back to life on its own. But the air had turned ice cold, and I swear to God I saw frost crawl across the monitor screen, heartbeat steady, patient unconscious. My fingers trembled as I left the room. In the hallway, the lights were dimmer now. The air was thick, almost chewy, like I was walking through fog I couldn't see. The silence was too perfect, like the building was holding its breath. I passed an old surgical suite with mirrored glass. My reflection didn't move when I did. It stayed still, smiling. 2 a.m., room 507. I shouldn't have gone in. Adele had marked it out of service on her clipboard. But the door was ajar, and I heard something. Crying. The girl sat on the bed. Her skin glowed faintly, almost luminous. She wore a patient gown soaked at the hem, like she'd walked through blood. Her hair clung to her face in long, wet strands. The air smelled like rust and old flowers. "Are you okay?" I asked. Her head jerked up, her face pale, sunken, with eyes that bled shadow. Her mouth twitched into a smile that seemed stitched onto her skin, crinkling awkwardly at the ends as if out of practice. "You see me," she whispered. I backed toward the door, heart pounding. "I didn't mean to." "I'm glad," she hisses. "Now you're mine." I slammed the door shut, but she was already gone. After that, things decayed fast. I started finding dead birds inside the building, bloodied feathers smeared on the windows, though no windows were open. I saw patients walk into operating rooms that hadn't been used in years and vanish. I saw nurses standing motionless for hours in the break room, eyes rolled back, humming lullabies in languages I didn't know. Adele was gone, just disappeared. No one remembered her. The name Maddie appeared everywhere, on reports, scratched into walls, muttered by patients in their sleep. Maddie, Maddie, Maddie. I did my research during a brief power surge that killed the lights for 15 minutes. Flickering screens, dim emergency bulbs, and shadows that leaned toward me like hungry dogs. Maddie. Died a year ago. Drunk driver, internal bleeding. Died in this hospital. Alone. I saw her in reflections, in vents, under beds, crawling across ceilings, fingers bent backwards, mouth open wide enough to swallow me whole. She whispered my war memories back to me, my failures, my guilt, every blood-stained decision. She showed me their faces, the friends I lost, the men I couldn't save. She knew. My hands won't stop shaking now. Sometimes I find blood under my nails, and I don't know where it came from. Sometimes I wake up in places I don't remember walking to, and once I could not recall my entire shift. The other nurses avoid me. I hear them whispering. They think I'm cracking. On my last night, I found Maddie in room 507. The lights went out again, but this time they didn't come back on. My flashlight flickered like it didn't want to show me what was there. But it did. I saw every inch of her. The torn hospital gown, the gaping wound in her abdomen, the flies nesting in her mouth. I tried to leave the hospital. I made it to the parking lot, but every exit led me back inside. The hallways changed. They pulsed and breathed, gaping open like a mouth. The floor beneath my feet felt like flesh, warm and twitching. I screamed. No one came. I clawed at the walls until my fingers bled. Now I'm in a white room. They call it a psych ward, but I think it's something worse. The doctors have empty eyes and smiles like slits in their cheeks. The nurses hum her lullaby. They don't call me Sarah anymore. They call me Patient 507. Maddie visits me every night. She doesn't need to hide anymore. She lives through me now.